Hi everyone, it is me, the Chipmunk. Well, I just received some news today that the site formerly known as the Bellyzone has gone down. I confirmed this news with Storm himself, who is the owner of the Bellyzone, or was the owner of the Bellyzone, and he confirmed that yes, it was taken down. He told me, it was because there were not a lot of people involved in the site anymore, not a lot of traffic, and it's of course very expensive to keep a site up and running. So I thought, I should probably say something about it now that the Bellyzone is officially gone. As most of you know who have been keeping up with my channel the past few years, you'll know that there was some controversy between me and the Bellyzone and some of the people there. I don't want to get back into all of that. I'll just give a brief synopsis of what that entailed. I was invited to participate in the Bellyzone by Storm, who created the site back in 2013, I think it was, or 2014. Also Punishing Fate, my best friend, was invited to be on the site and contribute some things. Show Me the Belly had just gone down, or was in the process of going down, and we were invited to contribute our talents, such as they were, to the Bellyzone, whatever we could do to help out. And we were very happy to participate in that because it was a chance to participate in something new, something that would be, new and different, and hopefully a better experience than we had with Expansion Mansion, which a lot of people had really loved, but had really gone downhill for the past few years of its life. Expansion Mansion went down, I think, officially around 2012 or 2011, something like that. Anyway, we were very happy to participate in that, but unfortunately things started happening almost right away that really, I think, not only destroyed our enthusiasm for participating in the Bellyzone, but I think hurt the Bellyzone and any potential it might have had to grow and expand and become a great site for the entire pregnant loving community. The main three people that I think are responsible for hurting the site are Victor Bravo, who is a psychopath and a bully, and you all know about him and what he's done, but also two other people, Lizzie and Olympic Dames, and some of the moderators. Now, the reason I say that is because the moderators at the Bellyzone were the same moderators who had moderated Expansion Mansion. And I didn't know at the time that they were going to be moderating the site. I've said earlier in earlier videos, I think that I was apprehensive about those guys coming, into the Bellyzone and being moderators. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to start any trouble, but I did have some apprehension about those guys and what they were, planning to do. Because my experience with them, I didn't know them personally, but just the experience I had and many people had with Expansion Mansion and its moderators were not good. They were really far too power hungry, if you will. They had a lot of authority. They banned people for pretty much no reason, and I really thought they were just the wrong people to moderate any kind of site. But Storm knew these guys, apparently, and he wanted them to participate and be moderators in this new site called the Bellyzone, so that's what happened. At some point, Punishing Fate and the moderators there, particularly Lizzie, I think, targeted Punishing Fate out. Their personalities clashed. I don't know what the problem was, and the thing about it is, Punishing Fate isn't really sure to this day what exactly the problem was either. They had some verbal back and forth in between him and some of the people there, the moderators at the Bellyzone. And the next thing he knows is that he's banned, and also his wife is banned from the Bellyzone. They're banned, they're gone. And that's what triggered my eventual leaving the Bellyzone. I won't get back into all of that stuff because that's been covered in other videos, but suffice it to say that was really the beginning of the end for my enthusiasm for the Bellyzone, and certainly it was the end of Punishing Fate's enthusiasm that he had for the Bellyzone. Punishing Fate was very hurt by what had happened, and things just seemed to go downhill from there. it was amazing just how fast things started to go south. I mean, with Expansion Mansion, it took years for the site to go downhill. It started off real good, and then slowly but surely, after a few years, things just started to go down, 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 and then eventually Expansion Mansion got to the point where nobody could pretty much make any kind of post or comment without somebody looking over it, banning it, getting banned. You couldn't post anything, and Expansion Mansion went down. With the Bellyzone, it was a little bit different. Things seemed to go wrong almost from the get-go. It didn't really take long for things to just crumble. And like I said before, I think that's really due to the fact of certain people who participated in the Bellyzone, particularly the moderators, more specifically Lizzie, and also another person who wasn't a moderator but certainly was an instigator in a lot of the fights and quarrels, if you will, at the site. And, well, really I should say there were two people. Like I said, first was Lizzie, the moderator, and Victor Bravo, the psychopath who's been harassing and bothering my best friend and me for many years. And you all know about that. I won't get back into all that stuff. But also Olympic Dames, who, like I said, is not a moderator, but certainly was a participant in the... She was basically an instigator of a lot of the quarrels and fights and the disharmony, if you will, at the Bellyzone. Olympic Dames was a very hateful person, a very ugly person, a very mean-spirited person. She was a fanatical feminazi. She hated men. She didn't seem to really like hardly anybody. And I had only had one brief encounter with her prior to being on the Bellyzone, and it wasn't good. She had a very disgusting personality, and she was impossible to get along with. So it was really the dynamic of Olympic Dames, Victor Bravo, and Lizzie who really created a lot of disharmony at the Bellyzone and really ruined the atmosphere there. When at the beginning it seemed like it was such a welcoming place and it would be such a nice place to start afresh, start anew, and just have a great site where pregnancy lovers could come and feel welcome and not be treated badly. And, of course, things did not work out that way, unfortunately. I don't want to go back into everything that happened in the past, but I do feel like I need to, say what exactly had happened in order to understand why I think that the Bellyzone didn't work out and why it did go down. Obviously, like I said, it was those three people and the fact that there was so much bullying and the egos that were involved and the fighting and the bickering over basically nothing. And like I said, I think that those things really ruined the potential for the Bellyzone to ever grow, expand its audience, and get more people visiting the site and participating in the site, because people were seeing nothing but bickering, hating, arguing, massive egos involved, and all of those things that just turn people off, and make them decide, well, I don't want to be part of something where people just argue all the time and everything. I feel like had something been done earlier in the site's creation, all of this might have been avoided. I can't say for certain. Nobody can say for certain. But I think I can say this now because Storm didn't tell me not to talk about it, and the only reason why I did not bring it up a few years ago when the last controversy with the Bellyzone happened was because I did not want to stir things up again. I didn't want to get more people angry or have people say stuff over at the Bellyzone and then people come over here to this channel and say something and, have the argument start all over again. But what it was the last time we had a little tiff with Lizzie and Olympic Dames and all of that was that I had talked to Storm. Well, let me give you a little backstory. What had happened was there was some controversy over this pregnant woman on YouTube. She made a video criticizing the pregnant community and calling us all perverts and things like this. And I made a video defending the pregnant community, and I mentioned an idea that I had had before about a pregnant community outreach program where people from the pregnant community would try to communicate with say pregnant women on YouTube or on the internet and just let them know who we were and what we were about. Now, it was just an idea, and I never implemented it. But I did toss that out there as an idea. It was an outreach program, try to promote the good side of the pregnant loving community and things like that. And in that video, I mentioned I reached out to people at the Bellyzone and I said, if anybody there wants to help me, that would be great. If anybody wants to help the community, let's all get involved. That was all I said. Lizzie and Olympic Dames, of course, did not like me, and they took that opportunity to bash the hell out of me. And needless to say, after a few going back and forth, Storm got upset because he thought, as I was responding to Lizzie and Olympic Dames, that I was somehow attacking him. I made a video called The Bellyzone and all of that kind of stuff. Well, we talked, back and forth through a couple of emails, and we got the situation resolved. And in that conversation, I mentioned that I said, Storm, here's the thing. I have nothing against you personally. And I told him that some of the people, basically the moderators, more specifically Lizzie, was not doing him any favors by being a moderator on his site. I said they're doing you a real disservice because Lizzie is supposed to be a moderator. He's supposed to not only control things like this and keep things from getting out of hand, but he is purposely instigating internet drama. He's instigating fights with people and former members of the Bellyzone. He's trying to egg people on to try to get me. He said all kinds of insulting and demeaning things, and he and Olympic Dames were just going on and on and on and on, piling on, and it was getting some people there upset. It was getting some people here upset. There were comments going back and forth, and I said, it's not doing your site any good because he's making your site look really bad. Lizzie is a moderator. He's supposed to not only be above this sort of thing, he's supposed to stop things like this from happening, and instead he's instigating fights with other people. He's instigating fights with people like me, and I'm not even on the site anymore. So I got an email back from him, and he said, well, I'm going to be the only moderator from now on. In other words, there are going to be no moderators whatsoever. All the moderating duty will be handled by Storm, and that's what happened after that. That's not really a big news flash, because obviously anybody who was on there knows that after that conversation, Storm took on all the moderating duties, and nobody else previously who was a moderator had those moderating responsibilities, as I understand it, as Storm told me. And it occurs to me that had something like this been done earlier in the site's creation, and had Storm been the moderator and not all these other people that had formerly been moderators at Expansion Mansion, and it had just been Storm moderating the site, maybe, just maybe, that could have prevented all of the things that happened in the beginning. And the Bellyzone might not only still be around, but the Bellyzone might have grown and become a really big and successful site. Unfortunately, of course, I think by the time Storm took those actions and he finally became the only moderator at the Bellyzone, I think it was too little too late. The damage had been done. People by then had seen for several years some of the controversies, the infighting and everything, and like I said, I think it turned people off. They didn't want to go to the Bellyzone because all they ever saw from the Bellyzone was a lot of arguing and a lot of infighting and all that kind of stuff, and it just turned people off. And it just led to less and less people coming to the Bellyzone, because who wants to be part of a site where people do nothing but argue and fight and have insane internet drama? Most people don't like that, and that's not what the Bellyzone was all about. I don't blame Storm for all of this. Like I said, I blame the moderators. My own opinion, and this is just my opinion, that if Storm had been the moderator, the only moderator at the site, I think things would have been a lot better. I think Storm, I think he's a good-willed person. I think he means well. I've talked to him, in the past, and obviously I talked to him today. We haven't had long, lengthy conversations, but he seems like a person who wants to do the right thing. And I think, unfortunately, he's just been misled and done a really great disservice by certain people in his inner circle, specifically those people that were moderators at the Bellyzone. And very specifically, I'm talking about people like Lizzie and Olympic Dames and those kind of people who create a very nasty and hateful atmosphere. Like I said, there's nothing that can be done now, of course, because the Bellyzone, unfortunately, is gone. And that's a shame because the Bellyzone started out with such great promise. It had such hope. Me and Punishing Fate, we both at the beginning thought this would be a great opportunity for the pregnant community to start over, start anew, and have a great experience at a brand new, fresh site. Storm had a lot of experience with in the past of making sites, and he seemed like a really talented man. I think he really is a talented man when it comes to creating sites for the pregnant community and pregnancy content. And like I said, I think he was just done a really great disservice by some of the people around him. That's just my opinion, and I realize he may think differently, but that's just how I see it. But I wish Storm well in whatever he pursues in the future, and I hope that he has better luck and better success in the things that he tries to do, and I know he will. And I'm not here to try and tell him what to do or how to do things or anything like that. Like I said, all this is just my opinion and what I think happened at the Bellyzone and why it went down. Ultimately, that's pretty much it. I can't say I know what makes a site successful, and certainly in the pregnant community, it's very hard to have a successful site where people can come together and really share their love and interest of pregnancy and things like that. That's unfortunate because the pregnant community really needs people, and it really needs a forum and a site where people can come together and talk and be able to make friendships and share things and find material for their pregnancy collections and just have fun. And the Bellyzone should have been a place where we could have done that, but unfortunately it just did not work out that way. As for me, all I can say is I'm never going to participate in any kind of internet sites ever again. I have had several bad experiences now with pregnancy-related internet sites, and it seems like every time the pregnant community comes together and tries to create a new pregnancy forum or a pregnancy site where people can come together and have fun and make friends, it just doesn't work out. There was Expansion Mansion, then there was Show Me the Belly, and then the Bellyzone. And now all three of them are gone. So I don't know what will happen in the future, but I'll say this. I'm more than happy to be a member of a site, but in no way do I want to participate officially in anything having to do with an internet site, because I have just not had any really good experiences, unfortunately, with these type of things. So it's nothing that I am interested in pursuing in the future. But like I said, I do wish Storm well, and I hope that things do work out for him, and I'm sure they will in whatever he pursues, because he is a talented person. I just think that he was, done a great disservice by the people around him, some of them, and I think, those people did not have his best interests at heart, and unfortunately, sometimes things like that happen. But at any rate, moving forward, all I can say is, live and learn. And I don't know what makes a pregnancy site successful, but I do know what makes one not work. And that is that if you have moderators who don't have anything but their own interests at heart, and they are just there to have power and abuse it and harass people and bully people, that will not make people want to visit your site. That will, of course, alienate people, that will create drama that people will want to avoid, and it will just repel people from your site. So I think the lesson, if anything, here is that everyone just needs to be very choosy about who you decide should be a moderator or moderators in your internet site. Well, anyway, that is my 2 cents worth, and again, the Bellyzone is gone, so hopefully at some point in the future we will have a site that is successful, that is friendly and welcoming to other people in the community, and it would certainly be great because we certainly need it in the pregnant community. We certainly need a place where we can feel like we can come together and not be harassed, not be bothered, and just come together and have fun and share our common interest of pregnancy and just have a good time. And hopefully one day we will have a site like that. Well, like I said, I wish Storm all the best, and there are no hard feelings. These are just my opinions on why I think the Bellyzone went down. Some of you may or may not disagree with what I've said, but feel free to leave a comment below and let me know how you feel. Anyway, that is all for now. This has been the Chipmunk, and we will see you later. Bye, everybody.